I was skeptical about this one. I mean, I've tried a few kayaks over the years, and most of them either feel like you're sitting on a park bench or wobble like a bobber in the wind. Then I got my hands on the Wilderness Systems Recon 120, and honestly, it changed how I fish. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, the StowPro Aces seat is a game changer. If you're like me and spend hours on the water, comfort is everything. This seat adjusts in seconds, so you can switch from sitting upright to leaning back without fumbling with straps. I took it out last weekend for a full day on the lake, and my lower back didn't scream at me once. That alone makes it worth it for anyone who fishes regularly. The storage system is another standout. The StowPro lets you organize gear without digging through hatches or losing tackle in the hull. I keep my dry bag, cooler, and even a small tackle box all within arm's reach. The best part? Everything stays secure even when you're paddling through choppy water. I once dropped my phone in there during a windy afternoon, and it didn't budge an inch. That kind of peace of mind is priceless when you're miles from shore. Then there's the hull design. Wilderness Systems calls it S.M.A.R.T technology, but I just think of it as staying dry. The Recon 120 tracks straight and cuts through waves like it's nothing. I've paddled it in everything from calm rivers to choppy coastal waters, and it handles like a dream. The hull also has a lower center of gravity, so you don't feel like you're about to tip over every time you move. That's a big deal if you're casting or reeling in a big one. For anglers, the dual rod troughs are a small feature that makes a huge difference. Instead of jamming rods between your legs or risking them falling overboard, you can lay them flat and secure. I've used it to hold 2 rods while trolling, and it's so stable I didn't even need to tie them down. Plus, the silent traction pads on the deck mean you can shuffle around without making a sound, perfect for sneaking up on skittish fish. The Recon 120 is also surprisingly roomy. At 12 feet long, it's got enough space for a cooler, a crate of gear, and even a second person if you're bringing a buddy. I've taken my dog out a few times, and he fits comfortably in the front hatch. The kayak's wide beam gives you plenty of stability, so you don't feel like you're perched on a tightrope. That's a relief when you're standing up to cast or reeling in a fish. Now, no kayak is perfect, and this one's no exception. The biggest downside is the weight. At around 70 pounds, it's not the easiest to carry solo, especially if you're loading it onto a roof rack. I ended up buying a kayak cart, which helps, but it's something to consider if you're not strong or don't have help. Also, the price tag is a bit steep compared to some other fishing kayaks. But honestly, the build quality and features make it worth the investment if you're serious about fishing. All in all, the Wilderness Systems Recon 120 is one of the best fishing kayaks I've ever used. It's comfortable, stable, and packed with smart features that make a day on the water so much easier. Whether you're a weekend angler or a tournament fisherman, this kayak delivers. If you're in the market for a new ride, check out the link below, it's a solid choice. For most buyers, the real question is not whether Wilderness Systems Recon 120 sit on top fishing kayak 360-degree Aces seat 12 feet Ranger Green sounds impressive on paper, but whether strengths like StowPro Aces seat and StowPro storage system actually make daily use feel easier, more dependable, and more worthwhile after the first few days of excitement wear off. It is also smart to think about long-term satisfaction. A product like Wilderness Systems Recon 120 sit on top fishing kayak 360-degree Aces seat 12 feet Ranger Green usually feels like the better buy when it stays convenient, comfortable, and reliable in normal everyday use instead of only looking good in the listing.